Hello. I think we're live. Oh yeah, we're live. Cool. Just waiting for Hannah to join. Yay, here she is. Oh my gosh. So, kind of funny. You know tech in order to be successful as a coach. Like if you're on, say hello, drop a
if you can
comment.
Hear me. It shows, I see myself.
Hannah
but it
and I
shows
are
a
going
little
to riff
wheel
today.
on your
And I'm
screen.
so excited to have her here. Hannah and I are both mentors for similar things, which is just emotional intelligence for high achievers and next level coaches. Hi, Hannah, you're here.
Yay.
We got it going. Yay. So, whenever you hop on, I can't see a ton of comments, but not that that totally matters because last time it kind of did the same thing. Can you see the comments, Hannah?
Let me check. Sometimes mine come through, sometimes they don't. No, maybe I need to close the main screen and go to your page.
I don't know.
Because it sent me like the invite through Messenger.
Yeah, it's like a messenger room and then it goes live.
It's weird. Yeah,
It's weird.
I don't see it
Anyways.
on my page. Let me go to your page. Maybe I need to share this to my page or something. I see it live on here. Let me share it to me. Oh, wait. It's being really slow.
I know.
Share.
Does it still Mercury retrograde? I haven't really been
I think
following
it
it.
just went direct yesterday, so it's still the shadow period.
Oh well.
I think I'm sharing it. I don't see any comments. I also, when I go to your page, I don't see myself. I see my.
Okay.
You know what? I need to get off your page because it's like delayed.
Right.
Okay, I'm just gonna do it through Messenger.
I think I sent you the link. I feel like
when I
anybody
went to
who
your page, it was like I was hearing it real time, and then when I went to your page, it's like echoing back.
Okay. Yeah.
So, should we just wing it? Can you, maybe if I get my laptop, I'll be able to see the comments. Should I go grab my laptop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that'd be fine.
That way I can mute it.
Oh my God. Well, I think that anybody who hops on and sees this beginning is like, dude, I've been there before, so I don't think that they're gonna care too much.
Oh yeah, no, this is my first time, so.
It's probably working just fine, and it doesn't look like it is to us. Who knows? Okay, cool. Well, yay.
Well, here we are.
Yeah.
It'll just be a second for me to pull up here. I think I successfully shared it to my page though, so that's good.
Yay.
Let's see. Okay, we got some
Yay.
people live, so hello to whoever's hopping on. Feel free to comment below, guys, so we know if if the comments are coming through. We would love to have a cool exchange here with you guys.
Yes, let us know when you hop on live, where you're watching from, what your energy is like today. I always like to ask, like on a scale of like 1 to 10, like where's your energy? Is it a 1? Is it like shitty? Or are we like just hyped up and just euphoric? Like where are we at today?
Oh, a lot of people are probably feeling the full moon vibes. I know I was feeling this one. Sometimes I'm not so affected by them, but then like I'm a water sign, so most of the time I feel sometimes I'll feel a little funky or I notice things coming up and I'm like, I don't overthink it. I'm just like, I know what this is.
Yeah.
And I know this is going to pass. So are you
I'm
feeling
not
the full
seeing
moon vibes?
Yeah, all that, all of it. I'm not seeing any comments, but it doesn't mean that they're not there. So I'll let you, if you're seeing them.
I don't see any either. Oh well. I'll leave this up and check it periodically, but let's dive in.
Let's give the people what they want.
Yes, and then of course if you're catching the replay, say hello so we can say hi to you in the comments.
Yes, if worse comes to worse, we get to do it again at another date. So I'm not concerned. It's always actually how it's meant to be. So we're coming live to you guys today on the replay to talk about like this one secret that like honestly the coaching industry doesn't want you to know. And like it's the easiest thing. It's like the thing that you like have probably overlooked like 50 million times. But it's like the thing that people don't want you to know, because if you did, like, so like 90% of the programs that are out there, 90% of the coaches that like what they're selling, it would just deflate. And so Hannah and I wanted to talk about that today, just to help you. And like, you can make the shift today and like scale your business today. Yeah. So I don't know. I wish we could see comments, because I'd love to see like people's goals. Like, you know, what are they? It's fourth quarter now. Like, what do they want to end the year at? Like, where are we at? But we can't see comments. So
I know, it's weird. Maybe they'll pop up in a minute. So I actually haven't done a share screen before. Yeah, and you know, the thing though about this is that it's simple, but it's not necessarily easy, which is why, like, because I guess like when we're saying like, oh, the courses, like a lot of them would go away, we're not saying that it's not valuable to have a coach. Like, hello, we both are coaches, but it definitely, there's another way you can structure it where you're not wasting your time, you're not wasting your money, because I think where a lot of people end up is they've like done a bunch of programs, they've worked with a lot of coaches, a lot of them very expensive, or even if there were like a bunch of cheaper programs, it wastes your time and energy. And when you go through so many proven methods that don't work, or like maybe they work a little but not the big results you want, it can really like knocks your confidence, and it makes you be like, make up all these extra resistance and stories like, oh, this doesn't work for me, or oh, it's taking too long. And it's like, you can really fast track it, and that's what me and you both specialize in. It's like, let's cut out all the bullshit and just like,
oh my God, like,
let this be easier.
Yeah, Liz and I were talking about like so much of the industry and self-help too is and I have like a psychology background, like there, like so much of like this world is based on the healing hamster wheel, like that there's always like another thing to heal, and then like you have to like heal something before you can reach like that next level. But this is where people go wrong, is because like there's always going to be like a new level, new devil, and so always expecting that like that you're going to be like completely healed and then you're going to make the money, completely healed, and then like it's just not true.
Well, a lot of that's like in our minds, like that's our perception too. So it's like is that even true? Like, because I mean, for me, I'm like, you're always worthy. Like, you're here to have this human experience and like start experiencing new things and like fine tune your energy, all of that. But like all of that constant healing and saying, oh, when I get there, or I need to do this to get there, like that's all rooted in not feeling worthy, which is all rooted in lack, which is all essentially rooted in a lie. So it's like, if we can bypass all that shit and just be like, God, okay, you're worthy, now what? So like, that's where your power lies.
Yeah, and if we think about it too, like when people keep saying, well, when I do this, like then if we look at that word placement, you're always keeping your desires or your success, or like what you're trying to manifest, you're keeping it in the future. Yeah. And you're like the answer is always yes, no matter what you say to the universe. So if you say, I have to heal this first, I go, okay, sure, go for it. Yeah. And they bring you, you know, like you're so fucking powerful. Like anybody who's watching this call right now, watching the replay,
hi,
like
Nikki, you, by the way, someone commented.
Yes,
hi,
hello. Nikki. Like anybody who's watching this, like there was like even subconsciously like a piece of your soul which is like, I need to hear this today. Or there was like there's going to be an answer, there's going to be a gold nugget that like we decided to go live and you're going to hear something and it's going to be like, wow. And like we're so powerful. So when we start saying things that like really are self-sabotaging for us, like, oh, I need to heal this, or I need to figure this out first, or whatever, the universe is like a fairy godmother. It's just like, well, sure, the answer is always yes. And so like I see, and I got stuck on this too. Like I literally did, like in my businesses and like my own development for a long time, it's like, well, there must be this block, or there must be that, or I don't trust myself enough. And like what you said, that's rooted in worthiness. And the truth is we were born worthy, like because we have a heartbeat and air in our lungs. Like we don't have to do anything else. We don't have to heal or shift anything else in order to be worthy. But what we do heal and shift is our experience of that worthiness. And so that's really what Hannah and I are talking about today.
Yeah, like it's like, I feel like the human side, the logic, the mind almost thrives, like it gets a high off of looking for things to fix, like looking for problems. And it's like,
we love drama.
Okay. Like I believe we're we're here to experience it all, but it gets to the point where it's like, don't you think you've explored that energy long enough of like always feeling like something's wrong? Like, aren't you ready to just experience something new? So like, we're not here for the people who like are addicted to struggle. We're here for the people who are like, I've struggled enough. I'm ready to
I'm
let it be
over it.
easy. I'm ready to step into my power. I'm ready to like actually like move
Yeah.
quickly, and like you want the
Yeah.
acceleration, you want that like exhilaration now. Like we've been, I think, just humans in general boxed in for
Mm-hmm.
long enough, and there's a lot
Yeah.
of people now who are just ready to break all the rules, and that's totally what we're all about. Because it's
Yes.
always like, what are you believing? We experience life the way we believe it to be. So it's like you're in
Yep.
full control over
Mm-hmm.
changing your beliefs, and you get to set a new standard at any point. And that's kind of the secret that we're going
Yes.
to talk about today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like should we just tell them what that secret is?
Yeah.
And then just riff.
Yeah. Let's do it, because I'm ready to riff.
Yes. All right. So for those of you guys who are on watching the replay, like Han and I are to like we're just gonna like kind of have a very candid, intuitive channeled conversation around this topic. And if anything like really just kind of hits you or creates like a zing or like an obvious like woo, like that was good, or like wow, that was like the key I needed, please type it in the comments, because I kind of joke like I love interaction. Like I'm like Tinkerbell. If she doesn't get attention, she dies. Like like just
We both
kidding, but
have
it is
energies.
yeah, but it is so much more fun, and obviously from like a learning perspective too, like you're going to shift so much more, like where our attention goes focus, or where focus goes energy flows. So if we're
Mm.
paying attention and we're being intentional about being here and about like demand right now, like I'm going to receive a breakthrough, demand right now, I'm going to like unlock what I've been asking to unlock, you will hear it, and that's going to be really fun. And so we just
Yeah.
like to see when those breakthroughs happen.
We
So
want to hear your breakthrough, and we want you to not be
yeah.
shy and share it, because we're both not shy. So we were talking
Oh
earlier, like we just were chatting before we went live, and we're like, yeah, we're both expanders. Like we are here to give
yeah.
people massive permission to just like break free. So should we
Yes.
tell them what the top, like what are, in our opinion, the number one secret that the coaching industry isn't sharing with you, that's holding you back, that's making it take a long time, that's making it difficult, is the power of deciding. And this is
Give the
so
people
tied
what
into
they
our
want.
work. Yeah, because
Mhm.
this is what's keeping you out of your power. This is
Mhm.
what's keeping you one foot in, one foot out. This is why it feels difficult. This is why you're like feeling on top of the world one day and like, yeah, 7 figures, here I come. And the next day you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I need to post and spam and all the things, and I should DM all these. And it's just like, oh, no, like you get to decide.
Mhm. And what do I know we were talking about this, but like, so you and I both know what decision feels like, and it's very easy to like raise your hand and be like, Alex, Hannah, that's all you got for me, like the power of deciding. Like I decided just right now, like, but like, how do people know? Like in your opinion, like with your clients, like how can you like look at like one of your clients and be like, no, this is a difference between knowing and embodying, which is two very different things. But like the power
Yeah.
of decision, like how would you isolate that in your clients?
Well, it could show up in a couple different ways. I know for me, when I first started playing with this energy myself, it was like when I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I had like a breaking point where I drew that line in the sand. I said, F this crap, no more. Like, I don't know what the next looks like. I have no idea how to make it happen. I just know that I'm no longer available for this same old nonsense. So it can be
Right.
sometimes in these moments of like frustration. And I like when they get angry, because I'm like, yes, now we're getting in touch with your passion and your power, instead of like
Yeah.
looking your energy everywhere. Like
Yes.
you're deciding, you're like, no, I know I'm better than this, I know there has to be another way. So that's like the first way I see it show up. And then, like, I guess the second part to say is, once you decide, you have to keep deciding. Like if you're in and you're out and you're back and
Yes.
you're forth, you haven't decided. And that's where a lot of the anxiety comes in, and that's why people talk about how anxiety is a block. It's a block because it's what keeps you from continuing to back your decision. So like
Right.
you've decided when even when all the crap starts to surface, even when your outer reality is telling you that it doesn't look possible, because this is like part of
Yes.
the manifestation process, you say, "Yeah, no, but I decided." You're like, "I
Mm,
know, but I'm still doing this anyway, and I'm going to
mm,
figure it out." And you keep landing in that certainty, and over time it gets less and less scary, and you're just like, "Yeah." And then by the time it comes in, you're like, "Of course it did, but I didn't really
obviously.
you
Yeah.
weren't like looking for it. I don't know. So this is the part
Mm-mm.
where a lot of people it's simple, just deciding. And once you learn how to do this, you can do it over and over in
Mm-hmm.
different areas and keep being more audacious with what you decide you get to have. But
Yes.
like in the beginning, it's really hard because we've been taught and conditioned since we're little children to just hand our power away. So this is like
Mm-hmm.
it takes a lot of unlearning, and I think you would agree that's a big
Yes.
bulk of the work we do is really like removing
Yeah.
all the programming that's keeping you from this simple, clean energy that's like so
Yeah.
available to you.
Yeah. Because, oh, you had so many just like gold nuggets in there. Like, oh my God. But yeah, I know like Tony Robbins talks about like is it the Greek root of the word, like who cares like what where, but like the root
Mm,
of decide me like literally meant like to cut off all possibility. And I know
yeah,
he uses like the example like if you want to take the island you got to burn the fucking boats. And there are a
burn all the
lot of people
boats.
who are like, dude, I've decided, but like I know for a fact, like if you're, for example, this is what not deciding can look like in your business.
Mm,
I'm going to charge this price, but then if nobody signs up right away, I'm going to shrink back down. Or I'm
yeah,
going to
no,
offer
not the
all
vibe.
these different, yeah, yeah, yeah. Or I'm going to wait for permission, or I'm going to have, I got to take this class first. I got to research everything. I got to, all the different things. But then also, I would challenge you guys too. Like, if you're like, dude, I feel like I've decided, but maybe not. Where has not deciding served you? Like, where do we love, like if we get to stay undecided and we
Oh,
get to stay in the anxiety and the wishy-washy, like everybody's like, oh, I hate it, but like honestly you kind of love it in a kinky way, right? Because it's like maybe you secretly still love that struggle, or you're like afraid of like your greatness. So like where does like staying small and like not deciding serve you? Like where is that
mm,
keeping you safe? Because I know we talked about like we're in a group program together and we've seen like, for example, we've seen clients who or coaches who really need to be working with like higher clients,
mm,
but like
mm.
they'll protect themselves from them because it's like a fear of like unworthiness. And so like that deciding factor to like just be like, well, nope, I am no longer available for whatever it is like holding them
Yeah,
back or like whatever. Um,
there can
so
be a
yeah,
lot of
maybe,
fears.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that was like
There
a tangent, but
No, no, it makes sense and it's really good because I think anytime we're looking to break something, we need to see like what are you getting out of it because you wouldn't be doing it if you weren't getting or at least have the illusion of receiving something from it. So like
right.
where I see a lot of women, what they're getting from not deciding is not needing to take responsibility, right?
Yes.
Um, People
Because you can
pleasing,
still blame something else. Yeah.
yeah, yep,
Yeah.
people pleasing. Especially when we're talking about scaling your business, like being bold enough to decide, okay, I'm working with high-end clients, I'm raising my prices, whatever it's going to be. Um, there can be a fear of, can I really hold that? So, like, instead of
Mm-hmm.
saying, I'm going to decide and then calibrate to that, I'm going to allow myself to rise to the occasion. It's like, maybe I should
Right.
just stay right here. It's like, okay, that's fine, but like, don't bitch about it. Like,
Right.
you have
Like
to choose.
just
Like
own
saying,
your
like,
struggle.
yeah, like staying where you are is fine. We're not saying you have to go. Obviously, the people we're here to serve are the ones who want to go big, right? That's like what we're
Mm-hmm.
about. But like, if you don't want to go big, that's fine. But like, don't be in that wishy-washy energy where you stay where you are and then complain about it. It's like, make a decision. Are you going to be okay where you are, or are you going to grow? And I'm a big proponent for like, our natural state is to be constantly evolving. So I'm
Yeah.
under the impression that if we're staying stagnant, we're going against our nature, we're doing ourselves a huge disservice, and it's automatically going to feel like struggle. It's not going to feel fulfilling.
Yeah.
It's not going to feel good. So just go big. Like, just do it.
Yeah. And honestly, like, um, another just like I want to reiterate, like the secret to happiness is progress, it's growth, because happiness can't
Mm,
really like it's so unique to every single person. And like I know we're talking about business here, so we're talking about, multi 6, 7 figure, like high achiever business, like not beginner. But at the end of the day, it's like, even though you've hit these things, you still have to like know your definition of like, what freedom looks like to you and stuff. And a lot of times people just don't know, so they don't decide, or, they don't, or what else? Like it's the whole decision thing. The other thing I kind of want to like bust out too, like I was speaking with Lizzie about this, is like, at least for me, like when I knew I decided, and it's kind of a funny story, is I'm kind of sassy, and I feel like I'm a very like love or hate me kind of person. Like there's kind of no in between, and that's okay. Yeah. Like that's fine. But I remember I was sitting like at happy hour, and I had like a Cosmo, like a martini, and I just remember just sitting there, and I was just like, I'm really done with like low level clients. Like I'm just gonna like 10x my prices, and like here we are.
Yeah.
And it was just such an obvious, and I was like, okay, like what appetizer are we having? Like what's next? Like, but it was like just such a simple, obvious, but then like how you knew that it wasn't like a fluke, was like, there was no need to like post about it. There was no need to like celebrate. There was no need to like, because sometimes I feel like that's still us talking us into our, like, have we really,
do you need to affirm it all day? Like,
yeah. And it's like, you just like wake up.
That. I don't have time or energy for that. I got my life to live.
Oh, I know. Like I used to preach like meditation and journaling every day. And like, I feel like there's moments for it that I need it. But like now I'm just like, I can't be bothered.
I do like, it when I'm really called. I'm breaking all the rules in that too, in spirituality. Like, yeah, it's there's so much BS. Can I just go on a quick riff about like the BS in the spiritual community?
Please.
And this is based off of what you were saying about how like you were calm and certain when you made the decision. That's part of how you knew you decided it wasn't like a big deal. There's so much hype about needing to be high vibe all the time, and like in the manifestation community, like affirm, script. It's like it's like the more you affirm, the more you feel that you need to have a strict morning routine. It's like you don't trust yourself.
Yeah.
Can we just sit in that vibe for a minute? Like if you really trusted yourself, if you knew your power was as quick as making a decision, would you need to feel these crazy roller coaster emotions in regards to it? Would you need to doubt it the next second? Would you need to affirm and script it and write it out like 500 times? Would you need to announce it everywhere? Like you said, no. So a lot of this is, I feel like for me, I had to go into the spirituality for a while for like healing certain things within me, not that we're wanting to do endless healing. Like it was almost like the pendulum had to swing to one extreme and the other, and you're really in your power when you feel like it's like I talked about this the other day, it's like refining and maturing your energy, so it's not one or the other, it's both. And it's like that balance within us, like that masculine and the feminine, the logical, the practical, the doing, that drive, that passion, and the spirituality, the deep knowing, like connecting to your soul. We get to do both, and it's not like this rigid thing where you need to journal every day and you need to do this, because that often is very rooted in fear. It's like fear that I'm not good enough, fear that I don't trust myself, fear that I decided, but then I need to back it up with all my journaling. It's like,
and sometimes we like justify like our
know when I need to take the time. Like I know if I need to go to yoga, I know if I need to like, and there's some things that I do routinely because it feels good, but like I give myself the freedom to change it whenever. Like I'm not locked in.
Yeah. And sometimes like sometimes it's like doing this to get that, and I've seen it's not that I don't like journaling or meditation for what it is. Like it can be so useful, but if you're using it in a way of like, well, if I journal every day, or if I meditate every day, then I'm going to manifest this thing. Like then you're still creating this whole, again, you're putting your desire in the future, and you're kind of like rationalizing, like it's still kind of like, it makes your human feel like really good, like they're checking a to-do list. Like, oh, look at me, I do my journaling, I do my affirmations, but I'm still stuck. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, this is where it's going to take you being really, we're just going to go cutthroat here. You got to be really fucking honest with yourself. You got to be really fucking honest with yourself about, like, what the fuck is going on? What is true? Most of it is a lie. Actually, like all of it is a lie. And where, a lot of times I'll ask myself, like, where is this still serving me? And then then you just reframe, like, all right, time to change. But when you say time to change, like, you have to honor that too. You can't be
Yeah.
like, well, I'm working on this. Like, no, it is like, it is done. It is
This
done.
is how I explain to my clients, like, for sure that you've decided, or AKA that your manifestation's on the way, if you want to use it that way. It's like when you land deeply in like knowing this is a done deal, it's done.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's coming. And then so it's like this detachment. It's like because you know it's coming, now you don't have to sit and try to watch the water boil on the stove, right? You don't have to micromanage and like try to figure out when it's coming. Like there is this
Mm-mm.
air, it's like it's this fine balance. This is why I'm saying the balance between both. Like this is the refining your energy of like knowing it's done, it's yours. You don't
Yep.
need to like beg for it. If you keep asking, it's like you don't believe it's been given. But then also
Right.
like detaching from like not getting caught up in the how and not needing to like look at everything going on around you and assign a meaning. Like that's such a big energy leak. And this is where I see a lot of women staying stuck. It's like if you knew it was done, what would you do? Like you would keep living your
Mm-hmm.
life and like when you would think about it, you'd be like, oh yeah, I'm excited. I wonder how that's it's like more fun than when you're
Yeah.
detached because you're like that's part of the fun of it. Like you don't know when it's going to come. You don't know how it's going to come and that's kind of fun. It's like you don't know how you're going to meet the love of your life. Like, do you want to be like,
Right.
I must be in Whole Foods checkout at this time on Friday? Like, no, that's not fun. Like it's like,
Right.
we've kind of lost the fun and the excitement of it, which I believe is the whole reason why we don't know. Like, if you were supposed to know when and how, trust me, you'd know. It's like your soul knows that. Your energetic part of you
Right.
knows that. Your
Yep.
human doesn't. So it's like balancing the human with the energetic part. Like, and I think too, a big part is
Yeah.
like understanding that none of that's separate from you. This is where we get to in the mind, we compartmentalize things. This is where women are like,
Yeah.
I want to have money, but I don't believe I can do it in a way that feels good. I'm like, no, like you're a whole being.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just get to be you. So it's like you get to not
Yeah.
micromanage all of it. It's just, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that you have to like you have to be brave enough for those of you who are on the precipice of this, because I know many of you who are watching
Yes.
this are. You have to be brave enough to live in this distorted reality where you have already like kind of, for lack of a better word, elevated into like where you're headed. So the
Yes.
7-figure
Physical
business
proof.
that, yeah, but like you have to understand that like your current reality is just like, it's just what was happened in the past. So there's a delay. And it doesn't
Yeah.
mean it has to take forever, but a lot of times what people do is I've decided I'm going this far, but they look around and they're like, but wait. So for example, if you're in business and I'll talk to like newer business owners, like your first 6 figures, they'll go, well, I'm raising my prices. I'm going to be a coach. I'm launching this thing. And then they post and then they're like, oh my God, but I got 2 likes. It's
And they make
like,
it mean something. Yeah.
yeah. And it's
Oh
like,
my
no,
gosh.
honey, there are mountains moving in the background. Like, this is where you need to. Hi, Roberta.
Need
Hello.
to
This
trust.
is
I'm
where
not seeing all of
mountains,
it. Yeah.
I'm seeing on my screen.
I'm seeing
Um,
some
I think that there is actually a delay in the comments. So
now. Of course.
perfect.
3D.
But that's where like you need to be willing to sit in the uncomfortable. And those people who do tend to scale to those very high figures are just excellent. They're very, very emotionally intelligent. They are willing
Yes.
to like, not willing, but able to sit with the fear and and to not flinch with it. Even though
Yes.
your human might be screaming, what about this and what about that? Like these are people who are just
Hold.
like, I have fucking decided and like we're not even going there. And you will
Yeah.
sound so fucking crazy to so many people until you do
It's
it and then they're like,
boundaries.
but how? Mm-hmm.
It's boundaries and it's how you supercharge your energy because this is what we talk about
Mm-hmm.
alignment. It's like think of a pipe, a water pipe that has all these little holes. Every hole is
Mm-hmm.
like a doubt. Every time you check that coach's pricing to compare yours, every time you do like those are holes that are like leaking your energy and then you're like, wait, at the other end, you're like, why is there no water dripping out of my faucet? It's like when you set boundaries, when you just decide you seal up all of those holes and you streamline the process. So like from the time that the water gets from like I'm not really sure where I'm getting this analogy, but like from the like water tank to
It's
like dripping
downloaded.
out of the faucet, there's a little bit of a lag time, but it's going to be much more streamlined if you don't have
Mm-hmm.
all this energy leaking.
Right.
This is like the hardest part for people because we've been so programmed to think that you need to do something a certain way. We compare ourselves the second it seems uncomfortable. Like you said, you've decided and you for a moment landed in that like, oh, it's done. Yay, 7 figures. And then all of a sudden your 3D reality isn't affirming it for you. It's like, well, are you going to be needy and need that
Right.
validation, or are you strong in your power knowing that you decided? And that's where a lot of the
Right.
feminine energy, like needing to be okay, like needing to really strengthen your feminine. This is a lot of what I teach because the feminine
Yes.
is being in the unknown, knowing that you know what you know, that you've decided energetically, and letting that be enough until it shows up physically. And the feminine is, she doesn't question. She has that deeper knowing without needing to see
Yeah.
it physically. And like also
Yeah.
that patience. So it's weird, and people are like, but I thought you said it can happen fast. It's like, it's this weird balance of like when you're patient and you're not in this needy vibe, it can
Yeah.
show up faster. But you're patient and you're not needy because you know that you've decided.
It's like it's just
Like you trust
there.
yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is this
Yep. Yep.
landing?
It is.
Whoever's on here, let us know if it's landing.
Yeah, and if you
Whoever's
have any
watching.
questions too, or
Yeah.
if there's like an example that you want us to dive into, like you can get some free coaching here, which is awesome. Um, but no, I think that it's a thing that people don't talk about a lot because everybody is trying to talk about what's going to get you to that decision, but nobody's actually talking about like just
Holding it.
doing it. Yeah, and holding it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and you have to like this is where like that inner trust is really good. Like you're gonna really see entrepreneurship is gonna bring up all your traumas, all your healing that you need to do. Like
Yeah,
that's a given.
it did.
But you need
Um,
oh God, yes. It's like you think you're good
initiates
and then
you. Your soul
yeah.
work initiates you. But that's like
Yeah.
getting you to who you need to be to like hold it, like so you can actually be of service and actually not lose
Yes.
all your money. Like, because that's a big fear, right? It's like
Right.
it's always an option that you'll lose all your money multiple times if you're like not actually solid in who you are. And then
Mm-hmm.
ironically, when you're solid in who you are, you don't actually care if you lose the money because you know you can generate it right back. But then like
Yep.
you're not going to lose it because you're rooted in you. It's
Right.
all about self-trust. It's all about
Yeah.
like cleaning up the
Yeah.
energy leaks.
Yep. You have to like, and people don't buy, like, for those of you who are business owners on here, and like maybe you're like, well, maybe I need to change, blah, blah, blah. There's probably nothing wrong with your offer. There's probably nothing wrong with your prices. There's a lot that is probably a lot more to do with your certainty
Yeah, your
and like
energy.
the trust in you and all that. And even if like, even high achievers, like if you're just like, well, I'm burnt out, like I'm still running a business in a way that doesn't feel really good to me, like again, that's that trust and certainty still coming back. Like where can you step away? Like where can you let go? Where can you trust that feminine side of you a little bit more? um and sit in the uncomfortable
Yeah,
and just allow everything and nothing at the same time.
because a lot
And
of
it's
that, so
crazy.
like a lot of that's conditional. Like the feminine's about unconditional, right? So it's easy for a human to be like, oh, I can relax, I can feel safe, I can feel accomplished, I can feel successful when I have this formula that I know produces results and all. I know I just need to get
Mm-hmm.
up, do my morning routine, message these people, do these things. And it's like, okay, that can get you to 6 figures, but it's typically not
Right.
going to scale you to 7 figures. Or if it does, you're going to break
No.
in the process. And you don't like, when we're talking about abundance and like true wealth, I'm not just talking about the money. I'm talking about,
No.
do you have the time freedom? How's your health? Because we all know all the autoimmune, all the digestive issues, all the emotional eating, all that stuff that everyone
Oh
has
my
but
God.
isn't talking about is directly linked to stress. So it's like this is about your overall well-being and building something
Yes.
that's sustainable and allowing it to
Yeah.
scale. Like ironically, when you focus on doing it in a way that feels good to you and like holistically, like really honoring your personal energy flow and like what your limits and
Yeah.
boundaries are, like your business will blow up.
It
So it's like
will.
the biggest lie that you need to do all these things to make the money, but like
Mm-hmm.
your human believes it because you're like, oh, do X, Y, do ABC, and I get and it outputs XYZ. It's like, yeah, but that's so freaking boring. We're talking about like
Yeah.
results that don't make logical sense. Like, don't you want that?
Right. Yeah, if you want practicality, follow steps. If you want like illogical,
There's a million
people
programs
can't
for
believe
that. We
it.
know where that goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think like this is just such like it's like the one secret that like I mean probably sound like we're beating a dead horse, but like if every like common sense isn't very common nowadays. Like with
Yeah.
this theory in particular, everybody's like, I decided, but like then you like you will just know. And that's like the biggest thing like for anybody like in business or like whether you're trying to raise your prices, whether you're trying to like niche down into like what only you can do so good. Like it's just like it has to come from that decision. Like I am never going back to like what it used to be or what I used to tolerate, what I used to accept, what I, and then you have to just hold it until it arrives because it's on its way. Remember, the answer is always yes. Like we
And
can't fuck
that's
it
just
up.
practicing. It just takes
Mm-hmm.
practice. We get better at it. And like the better you get at it, the more quickly things can show up because the less resistance you have. But like you just need to start practicing and it takes balls. It's not easy to like do what we're doing. Like me and you, we go against the grain. I've always been that way though, like
Mm-hmm.
in my
Oh
own
yeah,
way.
me
Like as
too.
I've gotten more and more bold, like my moves have gotten bigger. The older I've gotten, the more confident I am, the more power I choose to hold.
Oh
But
yeah.
like it's not easy, and that's why a lot of people don't do it. Like, it's not easy to our human. It actually creates your life. It sets you up for a much easier life. But like in the beginning, it's not easy because you're kind of bucking the current in a sense. You're not bucking your
Yeah.
own current, which is where the power lies, but you're bucking the current of like the way society's told you it needs to be. So it's like you just need to be okay with the fact that you're going to make a big bold decision that sounds effing crazy. Likely nothing in your physical reality is going to support that. Like your own family is likely not going to get it. Like, and who cares? Like, you get to choose
Right.
it for you. But it's like your
Yeah.
test of your strength comes right after you decide. And often I
Yeah.
find that a lot of stuff starts to seemingly go wrong. Like things have to kind of fall apart and dismantle in order to rearrange
Yeah.
this. Like, what meaning are you going to assign to it? Are you going to say, oh my gosh, see proof that this isn't safe? Or are you going to say, oh, look, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Things I didn't like, that job I hated, I just got fired from. Great. That means I'm
Yeah.
aligning. Like, you get to assign the meaning, and then you do get to the point where it's like you've practiced it enough and you're just kind of unemotional about it. And that's the emotional intelligence factor, where it's like you're not on this emotional roller coaster because you just know what you know, and the physical is going to do what it does, but like it always arranges to follow you and the energy you choose to hold.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the
And
power. That's how powerful you are,
yes.
but you have to hold it or you're not going to get the results. Like,
Yeah. It's like this is where you hold the line and you say, I never again will go back to what, whatever it is that you're deciding against, that could be, for some of you, that could be a relationship, that could be
mm,
an income level, that could be, like what Hannah was talking about. This decision isn't just for business. Like it's like the cake that we like to dangle in front of you because everybody hears money and they hear business and it's like, oh, that's what I want. But actually, if we dig deeper, it's like everything is married and connected. So that's, yourself, your emotional, your mental health, your physical health, your energy, your vitality,
mm,
like your enjoyment, like your fulfillment. All of these things play into it. And we have to be just hyper vigilant about when we've decided one across the entire board and whatever that
yeah.
looks like to you. Because often too, and I'm sure Hannah, like you've seen this with your clients, we get a misbalance then where maybe people are like, their career is like fucking skyrocketing, but like their relationships, like they're on the verge of divorce. They like,
Yeah.
or like their health is declining or like whatever it is, or, or vice versa. So I don't know if you want to speak to that like a little bit, like just like how this just
Yeah.
is not like about money.
Yeah, well, like I think this is a big part of your message too, and this is what I say all the time is you get to have it all. And so when I
Yeah.
see someone, just because you're successful, just because you have a multiple 6 or 7 figure business, it doesn't mean you're happy. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
that it's sustainable. It doesn't mean that like you have it all. So we're here to really shift the paradigm around business and life and like what having it all means. And so like this is where
Yeah.
you have to tune out the noise and get clear about what does that mean to you. I think you talked about that
Yep.
earlier, like redefining what success means to you, and then be bold
Mm-hmm.
enough to decide that you get to have that. Like there's a lot of things you're supposed to do in business that I don't do because it doesn't feel good to me. And there's like no
Right.
world in which I'm going to do these things. Like I had to take so many business
Yeah.
courses before I was like, F this shit. Like, why do I keep signing up for this dumb stuff? Like I know I'm not going to do it, you know? And with that stuff, I wanted to touch on that because we're talking about the coaching industry for a minute. Like, you know, I think a lot of it's just like the blind leading the blind. I do think there are some people who like, well, I shouldn't say blind leading the blind, people who feel that they're limited and have to choose. So they're teaching that to other
Mhm.
people, and that's how they've learned how to create success. So they are teaching that. We're
Mhm.
here to help you realize that you don't need to choose. This is like the next level paradigm. This is where it's like
Yeah.
you get to have the amazing career. You get to run your business in a way that feels freaking wonderful to you, where you're not settling, where you're working with the kind of clients you want, making the kind of money you want,
Yeah.
raising your prices, making more money, expanding your impact, and you get to have the healthy body because you're honoring you and your energy. So like for me,
Yes.
when I started doing that, my autoimmune healed on its own, like all these stress related things went away. And it's like, and then because you know how to have good boundaries and you know your worth, it's like you're not accepting crappy relationships. It's like you get to have it all, but you have to choose. So long as you're buying into this old
Mhm.
paradigm lie of it's either or like I make all this money and then I feel guilty, or then it's like you
Mhm.
know, or it's like, oh, my family won't understand me or whatever it is. It's like you have to really just decide and decide that it's of
Mhm.
high service for you to do it, and know that as you choose that and you hold more power like that, you automatically light that spark in others. Like your energy is very expanding then too for others. So it's like even though people might be triggered by it, because trust me, they will be, because you're breaking all the rules and
Mhm.
they're like, here I am following this 10-step formula and you're breaking the rules and getting all these results. Like this isn't fair. Like
Yeah.
it's actually of great service because you're showing them that like, hey, you don't need to suffer. Like you can do
Mhm.
it. Like I just can't do rules. Like I've never been able to. And I break all my own rules all the time. Like I stay very in tune with like I'll do something, but I'm always checking in with how I feel. And I give myself full
Yep.
permission to change at any time. And this is like how I healed my emotional eating, because I used to be
Yeah.
very rigid, like following these elimination diets, trying to heal my body, doing this, and I would binge eat and then feel like shit. And I was just like, when I gave
Yeah.
myself full permission of like, I'm not going to shame myself for anything. I'm just going to pay attention to how I feel and prioritize that.
Right.
Like it just eliminated all the nonsense. And you get to do this in your business,
Mhm.
you get to do this in your relationships, you get to do it with money and
Mhm.
like all the things.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
really teach it kind of like backwards from how it's being taught, because I know like we both know we're here to really shake up the industry and how things are done and like what the standard is, and we understand that not everyone's going to like hop on the bandwagon right away, but like we know a lot of you are on the leading edge, you're like the early adopters and you want this, like this probably excites you, you're like finally someone confirming what I've been feeling in my heart, like we're telling you
Yeah.
yes, like you get to tell yourself yes. Do you feel the
Yeah.
vibe?
And you I love it. I love the vibe. I feel like there should be champagne.
I
But
know.
like,
I'm like drinking water over here. We can pretend.
I know, champagne vibes.
Next time.
But
Next
like,
time.
I kind of feel like there's just like, you know, it's so simple, like you said, it's simple but not easy, because if it
Yeah.
was, everybody would just decide.
Yeah.
But that's where like you really like, if you're like, dude, like I just, this is resonating like so fucking big. I know Hannah and I both do very similar work. We take you through these processes of like really deciding like what life looks like on your terms, and like with a fine tooth
Your
comb.
terms. Yeah. Not our
Yes.
not our proven strategy. Like
No.
we have a method we'll take you through, but like all my methods are around empowering you, like getting
Yep.
you. So this is for women obviously to like take radical responsibility, right? This isn't for you if you're
Yeah.
like, please just give me a formula. Like you are the formula.
Yeah. 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 It's for women who are hungry, who are motivated, who are like you probably already achieved some stuff in your life that you're really fucking proud of, but you know that
Yeah.
like what got you here is not going to get you there. And it's time to like, just if you want to like stomp your feet on the ground and like throw a fit and be like, nope, like I am not moving on without, this is my new world and this is what it's going to look like. Obviously, like we talked about, there is that uncomfortable portion of
Yeah.
like, like when everything is just like when you're holding that line. And so Hannah and I are
It
truly your
gets to be
coaches. I feel like,
exciting though. Like once
yes,
you've been with
yes,
it long enough, you learn to like it. You're like, ooh, this means I've just made a big move. You're like, oh, yes. Like,
yes.
so just
You get to
know
like,
that going into it. It feels scary, but like fear and excitement feel the same in your body. You get to assign the meaning. Like,
Yep, yep. And I think that they're actually the same chemical that's produced, if I remember correctly.
Probably,
Um,
yeah.
so that's kind of a interesting little fact there. But so I know that like our work, what we do, it's like super, super high touch. And well,
Yeah,
actually, yeah, that's what we talked about before. It is super, super high touch. So everything is tailored exactly to you with
yeah,
a fine tooth comb, exactly what you want. And then not just the process of figuring that out and eliminating the fluff, but also like that support when you are living in that distorted reality before it catches up to you and like holding that space. So like, guess what? You don't go the fuck backwards. We
yeah.
ain't
We
doing
had last
that.
time by like powerfully holding you, holding the vision with you, because we're never going to tell you, oh, that's too big or crazy of a dream, because we're
I
I
actually
don't
get
even feel
real.
comfortable telling people the things I'm manifesting sometimes because of like people wouldn't get it, but like this is about you and you, and
Just
we're
tell
here to fully back you
them.
in whatever you choose, like we
Yeah.
hold that for you because it is hard. Like this is where I've learned how to collapse time for myself by getting support, like the right kind of support, people who like could go there with me, because
Yeah.
it was like I've been in
It can be
programs
lonely.
where I felt like I had to dull myself down, and it was like, of course, no growth
Hmm.
was happening. And then you try to do it on your own, and it's like, it can feel really scary when everyone and everything around you is like telling you, like, well, maybe you should get a real job. And you're like, yeah, no, I can't. So we're here to streamline the
There
process to
is.
really hold that big energy with you, like limitless. You get to choose, and we tailor it to you. Yeah, like everything I do is very like intentional, very deep, very, a lot of this work, like it's it's the practical mixed with the unseen too, right? Like
Right.
this is deep energetic and emotional work too,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of, once you do decide, there's a lot of calibrating that needs to happen in your human, and this can happen on a physical level, it happens on an emotional level, and so we're here to hold the space for you and walk you through all of it, like so you're
Yep.
solid within you.
And that's what just slashes that learning curve and slashes all that like time that it takes because you're not doing the back and forth or the wishy-washy or the baby stepping. It's like, okay, you're at point A, you want to go 100 times faster. Okay, cool. We'll hold you in the space and help you get there without you going to like all the way up. So,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
and that's like that's our little specialty. That's our little magic.
Yes,
So,
yeah. And I think you're the same as me. Like we're very good. Like another part of our magic is we can see very clearly what's going on. So this
oh
is
my
also
God,
this
yes.
is important to talk about because like, we all have blind spots, and it's like,
Hmm.
how long have you stayed stuck because of something you don't see you're doing? Because this is what
Hmm.
happens, like if you like we get ways of being that are ingrained in us, ways of thinking that we don't even see as just like all we've known life to be. So that's a big part of what we do. We're
Right.
here to expand you, and part of the way we expand you is by helping you remove your limits. So like one of my
Yeah.
gifts, and I know this is yours too, Alexandra, is like I'm able to like talk with you and immediately pinpoint what's going on
Yeah.
for you, either like mentally, energetically, emotionally, that's been holding you back, or like help you connect the
Yeah.
dots and see like the thing that you don't think is related to like your money, it totally is, or vice versa. Like,
Hmm.
so we help you do that,
It's
like just so you
it's
don't
the
stay stuck, like
coolest
that also
gift.
lets you shift quickly. Yeah. A lot
It's
of
the
people don't
coolest
like it, but
gift. I know because
go
they don't
ahead.
want to hear it. And like I've had my own
Oh,
gift flip backwards on me before, like with my coach. And it's like,
yeah.
but it's like,
People tell
but
you,
it's what you need to hear. So Hannah and I will also, for anybody who's interested in working with us, I know you have a couple one-on-one spots available. I do as well. We've got some masterminds and stuff coming up. But
yeah,
like something that I kind of want to like let you know is like Hannah and I are very no bullshit, like very direct. Like sometimes the blind spot that we're gonna isolate for you is the thing that you do not want it to be, or like that you don't want to hear. So just be prepared. But once
to
you
be
unlock it,
uncomfortable.
yeah. But when you unlock it, like there's so much freedom behind it. So just go into it with an open mind. But it is cool. It's a fun gift to have because you like I always like tell people it's like I can hear them talking, and then it's almost like you get like a bird's eye view, and it's as if they had like this little blueprint, and it was like energy like here, energy like here, energy here. This is the pattern here. This is how this all connected. Okay, one, two,
And
three,
they
go.
fix it real
Like,
quick. You just clean it
yep.
up, and then you shift, and then your results change. And like as you're shifting and 3D is taking a moment to catch up, we're here to have your back so you don't doubt yourself. Like, I used to be told all the time, so my mother used to tell me all the time that I had a big mouth, that I needed a filter, that
Oh
like,
my God, that's what mine said too. She still
of
does.
course, I'm sure. I'm sure. She'd be like, you're just offensive. Like you say things like without like, and I'm like, and that turns out to be my greatest gift in my business. So like we get the
Yeah.
women who want to be called out, right? Like we get the women
Mhm.
who are like, I know I'm the one in my way, and I want you to
Yeah.
tell me, even if it hurts, even if my ego at
Mhm.
first is like, no, that's not me. I don't have that fear. It's like you're willing to like consider it, because then
Right.
once you do your part to shift it, like your outer reality shifts to match you. So that's, yeah, maybe like a little disclosure about us. Like
Yeah.
we don't like to like do like
We're not
we're very
cheerleaders.
kind and loving, of course, but like we're
Yeah.
not going to like spoon feed you or give you watered down coaching, because we want this. We don't want you going in these magical circles like taking forever. We want to just
We just
bust through the
called out the
bullshit so
coaching
you get
industry
to where
on
you
it.
want to go. Yeah, we
I
did,
always
because
like
there's a
to,
lot of these programs that are like, oh, feel good. You should like masturbate 20 times a day. It's like, that's great. Like if you really
yes.
want to do that, but don't do that because you think it's going to translate to your bank account.
Right.
Like let's deal with the fact that you don't believe the money can just come. Like let's deal with
Right.
that. Like
Yes. Yeah. And I like to tell my clients too, like when they, at least when they come through like my method, my stuff, um, they're gonna have this process that they can take themselves through. Like they're equipped for life. Like this can take you
yeah,
through every new level. So it's like if you want to like I'm the coach that you work with by desire, like so we can keep holding that line together. We like and again, you have the same gift too. You can kind of see what's moving in the background when other people can't as well. So it's like, no, no, no. If you only
yeah,
saw what was going on, if you just hold this line, like I got you, you're good. But like,
yeah,
you know, I don't feel like you should always need to have this like new like you should be able to take what you learned and like use it like for the rest of your life like and so
that's
I can
empowerment.
guarantee that yeah I it's like you shouldn't have to keep hiring me like if that's a, if you have to keep hiring me that's a sign that either you're not doing your part or I'm not doing mine but with this new method that I have it's like no you have this for the rest of your life and it's simple it's like 4 steps and it'll
Yeah,
unlock everything every single thing that you want and I know that you have the same thing and so it's like we don't want you to stay in the healing hamster wheel. You'll
no,
learn to be able to do this yourself and then just rinse and repeat. And then if you just want to keep going because, hey, it's fun and we get to create more magic and move faster together, sweet, dude. Like,
yeah.
let's rock. But that's at least how Hannah and I are. We're disrupting the coaching industry because we were just literally like, nope, let's play by our rules now. So if you're a little bit of a rebel or disruptor, we're your girls.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I know for me, I don't want clients that need me. Like I want
No.
clients that want me. Like they know they can do it on their own, but they just know they can go faster and like have it be easier and like they can trust
Right.
themselves a little more easily with the support. So that's like actually why my mastermind group program is kind of like a hybrid between the two. It's like a
Love it.
an intimate group
Mm-hmm.
program. Is called Desire Queen, because it's all about like, one, you're the
Love
freaking
it.
queen in your life. You set the standard, you get to choose, you
Yes.
make the rules, and you get to
Mm-hmm.
operate not just your business but your life off of pure desire. Like that's totally a different energetic frequency than like need, or let me try to prove this, or let me try to earn it. It's like, no, I desire it, therefore I get to have it, and I'm going
Yeah.
to bust through all the limits and the lies that tell me I can't. Like you're taking radical
Yeah.
responsibility. So
If I
that's
had
my
a,
group program. Yeah.
I love it. If I had a favorite affirmation, and maybe I made it up for myself or whatever, but it's I get what I want.
Yes, yes, yes.
And it doesn't sound magical. It could even sound kind of bratty if like you take it that way. But like honestly though, like I do feel like you have to have that kind of boldness behind your
You do.
desires as well. Like otherwise you will be more succumb to like second guess them or bend your boundaries or whatever. Um, but yeah, I want you to be able to talk about like give everybody the details about how they can work with you and like your program and like what it entails. Like I've seen just the behind the scenes from in the group program and from our chats and stuff like that. And so I will tell you guys like Hannah's stuff is like next level legit, so fucking like radical out there. It's so cool. So I want her to get a second to like chat about that.
Sure. Yeah. So Desire Queen is my group program. It's 6 weeks. You get the online course, which is my process is 4 steps too, but I give you like a couple different
Mm-hmm.
video modules, soul work, all the things, because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
this is like you working through it on your own, but then you get
Yep.
lifetime access to that. So, because always, when you watch stuff, you'll have different downloads come through, you'll
Always
connect
hear
dots
it
differently.
differently. Yep.
Yes. So
Mm-hmm.
I do that. And then we do weekly calls, group calls to really assist you with like, I'll call you out on what's in your blind spot. What's the BS story you're telling? Like I'll help you, if we need to move some energy, we'll do that. Like we
Mm-hmm.
work through all of that. We customize it to you. And then there's a VIP upgrade option if you want messaging support. So that's my
Yeah.
group program. That's 6 weeks, Desire Queen. It's 6 weeks because it's for women who want to move fast, and it's for women who
Yeah.
are ready to scale and they're ready to do it on their own terms. That's like really like who we're both here for. And then I
Yeah.
have one-on-one mentoring spots too. So these are very limited. I only take on a couple clients at a time for this because we go really,
Mm-hmm.
really deep. It's high touch, it's close proximity, it's like we do our
Yeah.
calls. You have daily support from me, like
Yeah.
messaging. This is just like if you really want that close proximity, you want to shift really quickly. It's
I
just
love
really
it.
whatever you prefer. If you want to be in a
Yeah.
group program or if you want one-on-one. Some
Yeah.
people do the group and then they decide they want one-on-one later. So
Right.
yeah,
Yep.
those are the
Yeah.
ways to work with me.
I
Yeah.
love how you have like, and it like they like appeal to each person's like style of how they like to learn and how they like to grow and develop. So that's awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
so do you just want people to like DM you, or we can post a link at the end of this too for people if they're interested in
Yeah.
working with you and all that? Oh my God, so fun. So
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, just send me a DM. The links, my link tree's in my bio. The one-on-one,
Cool.
there's no link for that. You just message me for one-on-one, and we can chit chat back and forth and see if it feels right for you. But typically, people, the
Right.
kind of women I attract, they know. I'm sure you get the same thing
Yeah.
because we're so in our deciding power that like we kind of
Yeah.
set the standard that we're not here for people who don't decide. Like I have boundaries
No.
around that,
Yeah. It
So yeah,
as yeah, I don't really ever get like anybody like wishy-washy. It's like once they land in my inbox, like they're ready. They're like,
yeah,
it's just a matter of just making it official.
yeah,
So, oh
exactly.
my God.
What are your
So,
programs?
I have three currently. One is a group program. I've divided my technique up based on where you're at in your business. My overall program is called Seven Figure Calibration. And that is basically all the different things that are going to land you to that seven figures or get you there from the emotional intelligence side of it. So again, I'm your blind spot, I'm your white girl, but we break it up as far as my programs go. My group program is for people for their first six figures, because how we look at our lives and how we show up and decide is a little bit different for when we're like launching and we're getting that rocket fuel off the ground. Mastermind is for people who are six to multi-six scaling to seven. One-on-one is for multi-six to seven figure achievers who just want like you want to go deep. Like it is very like their varying lengths. Group program is 4 weeks. That's a self-paced study course. You do get support in a community-led Facebook group from me and feedback. Again, you still get that process. You can take it with you, like wherever you go. Mastermind is you get the group program plus the feedback and the value of a community, of a sisterhood, being able to collaborate, network. I met Hannah in like a mastermind group program, like
Yeah,
what we're doing. And like, look at all the
yeah,
magic that has come out of this and like how much like up leveling we've just done just by like the conversation. And so I love giving like a space for like the becoming of everybody in a community sense. So that's mastermind. And then one-on-one is by application only. And then basically it sounds official, but we just chat and we see if we're a good fit for each other. But
yeah,
everything is included, mastermind, all the stuff. Like one-on-one is probably the best if you're like, dude, I'm really fucking serious. Like I am really motherfucking decided. I will not go back. But yeah,
mm,
that's 4 weeks because of the same thing. It's like, nope, like we are wham bam, thank you, ma'am. We are in and out. We want to move fast. We want to go. But if you want to do multiple rounds, hey, let's keep
yeah,
climbing.
yeah. I think I forgot to mention, and then maybe you can share too. I know for my one-on-one, so my group program's 6 weeks. For my one-on-one, there's an option to sign for 6 or 12 weeks at a time. And then again,
Ooh.
because I don't feel good about locking people in for super long. It's like if you want to resign, you can resign. So that's my options. So what are your, for your one-on-one, what are your options lengthwise, just so people know?
Currently, my one-on-one is 4 weeks, and you can resign as many times as you would like. For the, for the right person, like I'm always willing, like, as again, we're rule breakers.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever really set in stone. So if like 6 feels better for what we're trying to achieve, okay, cool. Like we'll look at it then. Or maybe somebody's like, nope, dude, I know I want to work with you for like 3 months. Okay, cool. Like, so that's why that one-on-one, like kind of just first interview is so important, just to get an idea, because like your stuff, it's like everything is so uniquely tailored to that person. It's kind of hard to be like, well, nope, we're going to drop you in this box and then, good luck. No, we're not cookie cutters.
Yeah, no, I know with my coaching, like in my group program and in the one-on-one, it's like it's so customized to you because I'm so anti-rules. Like I know how things work. I know how to tell you what's going on. I know how to see what's going on. I know how to help you shift it, but it's like I don't ever want to just give someone a formula. Like, so everything's like very big on like the support. And I think that's where we make it easy because we're able to go in quickly and see exactly what's going on. And I think that's why a lot of people like would choose us over like some of these other programs because it's like they want that directness. That's like what
At
helps you
least
move
for me,
quickly.
like I'm the world's most impatient person. Like I want results and I want big results and I want it now, and like I don't want to have to wait. So that's why I've kind of set my stuff up like that. I did forget the mastermind is 12 weeks. Now that
Okay.
is just because I love group chats. And I love we don't go as deep with the mastermind as we do one-on-one, but you do get that personal one-on-one feedback for anything that as we go through the stats, you can email me and we do feedback that way. But then you also get the support of the group and the networking and the collaboration. So I'm super excited.
Amazing.
I know.
Awesome.
They'll kick
Well,
off
this was
another.
fun.
It was. Oh my gosh. I feel like we need to
Yeah.
do this like once a month and just like riff, and next time we'll have champagne.
I'm down. Yeah, definitely the champagne. Yeah. I don't care if it's 11 a.m. I'll do it, you know.
Break the rules.
Yes, exactly. Well, thanks everyone for
Yeah.
joining us. And if you're catching the
Yes.
replay, always remember, comment down below. Let us know you're here. Let us know what your biggest takeaway was. Like, did you have an aha moment? Like, was there the
Yeah.
thing we said that just landed perfectly? We always love to hear. That makes us really, I don't, for me, it makes me really happy to
I do too, because
hear
it's
your
always
shift.
fast.
I love it.
It's always so fascinating because like what you think would land with like most people, it's like it was something completely different. So we're students first always. So I'm curious,
Yeah.
what was your biggest takeaway, or even like what just gave you like peace of mind or just permission to keep doing, like maybe you have been a rule breaker and like this was just permission that was like, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. Like
Yeah.
anything like that, like we just love it. And if this was valuable, make sure you like, comment, share, or tag a friend that might see value in this. And
Yeah.
we'll see you on the
Sounds good.
socials.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks, Hannah. Bye.
Bye.